It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Adams, sitting in tonight with Red Dan DeFall. What is going on, my man?
Oh, man. What a weekend here in Michigan. What weather.
What a show.
What a show.
This is actually take two. We did the whole show and it didn't stick. So we've actually, we did the show out on the patio, the Up North Journal patio. This time we're going to move inside. Things have quietened down quite a bit, and we're actually going to do part two here in the Up North Journal cabin. The temporary cabin, so to speak.
You know, we did a whole show and it recorded 10 minutes or 10 seconds of it, you said, and we didn't even catch it.
So obviously it wasn't meant to be heard.
No, so we're going to have to recreate it word for word.
All the excitement, all the enthusiasm that we had. So.
Yeah, exactly. Out on the back deck and with the wind. And
listen, we're going to take care of some quick business, and we'll be right back after this.
This episode of the Up North Journal is brought to you by PSE Archery, Dead Downwind, Mossy Oak, Vortex Optics, G5, and W.C. Hoffman's adventure book, Twins of Prey, available at Amazon.com.
All right, now we got that out of the way.
I feel like I've done this before.
I think we have, at least once today.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about tonight? Again.
Oh, man. Okay, what a weekend. Where should we start? Let's start with my fishing.
Well, actually, let's step back away from the weekend just a little bit.
We can revamp the show on the fly here.
I actually forgot something to talk about in the last show that we did. When I went up north for our annual camp meeting, on the way up north, I actually got to spy a bald eagle. Got up close and personal. I mean, for as far as bald eagles go, I got fairly close and actually got to shoot some video of it and put it on our Up North Journal Facebook page.
Using the new camera.
Using the new camera. I actually got within, well, I drove past it. I seen it in the tree. I'm like, dang, that's a bald eagle. Whip the car back around, pull up on the other side of the road, and found a spot where it's safe to pull off. And I was probably, it was less than 100 yards, but I couldn't zoom in close enough to really get some good detail of the bird. Put the car in reverse, start backing up a little bit.
So you're stalking a bald eagle in your car.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, I was stalking.
You were.
And I backed up a little more, got a little closer, kept backing up. By the time I got done, I was across the road on the shoulder. He was on the opposite side, maybe 30 yards off the edge of the road in a tree. You know, up maybe 30, 40 feet in the tree. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
The video is awesome.
You know, being able to see a bird that close. And he hung around for quite a while. I mean, the video, I don't know, what, a minute and a half, something like that. You can see some good detail in the feathers. You know, and you can see his eyes in good detail. I mean, it was pretty awesome.
Is that not an awesome bird or what?
Well, like you said the first time, I'm just glad that they chose to make that the national symbol and not the other bird.
Exactly. You know, could you imagine if our national symbol was the turkey?
I couldn't go turkey hunting.
Nobody could. And we couldn't have him on Thanksgiving Day.
But we could eat eagle. We could eagle hunt.
But there's not much to him. But yeah, that bird, we have him up at the camp up there, and we see him on the side of the road, or we see him in the trees. Is just an amazing bird to see in flight or on a kill. Is something.
And you see him pretty regular up there where you're at?
Yeah, we do. We up in Iron County up there in Upper Peninsula, we see them quite often, whether they're flying over a field or they're in a field or in a tree. Mm-hmm. They are just an amazing bird.
So it's not something if you see one that's like, oh my gosh, there's a bald eagle. I can't believe I've seen this. It's like, oh, there's a bald eagle. That's cool.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you know, every time I see a bald eagle, it's just another amazing time you see one because the bird itself is just incredible.
You know, and that's the one thing that amazes me is that there's so many people who have never ever seen a bald eagle out in the wild, or don't see them. I won't say on a regular basis to where it's common, but you know, to where people are just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, you know, and they freak out. I guess we're fortunate, either that or maybe being an outdoorsman, we look for that a little more regular than most people do.
We do, and even I seen a bald eagle at the Michigan Outdoors Show. The DNR had brought one in, and at that, it wasn't out in the wild. It was a bird that they had. It was still amazing to see it live in person, sitting on its perch. Is just like we said, definitely a lot better than the turkey.
Oh yeah, a lot better looking.
Oh yeah.
Hey, can you imagine if that was our national bird and that's on our money and on the back of the dollar bill where it's holding the arrows? I mean, how fierce is that turkey going to look?
It's going to look scary, But now that we have this colored money, it might, all the colors of a turkey head might be something. I guess.
It's red, white, and blue.
You gotta like that.
That's American.
That's American, but still, I think the look of the bald eagle is a lot more better than a turkey.
Absolutely. You know what else is American? Fishing.
Yes.
Didn't you do some this weekend?
I did. Being cooped up all winter long, the winter we had, finally had a nice weekend here. Deb, as he's choking on his red Kool-Aid.
Sorry, folks. Oh, man.
A little strong Kool-Aid for you, I tell you.
I tried to drink it or breathe it instead of drink it.
No, it's hard to do. But yeah, you know what? We got out. I got the 14-foot boat out. Didn't have the motor battery charged, so took it upon myself to be the motor with the oars.
Used a little arm power, huh?
A little arm power. Yes, I did. It was beautiful out. It was sunny.
I'm getting text messages here during the show.
Oh, see, they're texting us as we do the show again. But yeah, we got out. First thing I did is we stopped at Jim Beasley's spot shooters bait store. We picked up some worms. We were going to use night crawlers. And I have to admit, they caught fish. So
the worms were actually catching fish?
Yes.
What did they use for bait?
They were underwater and they were leading them to the hook.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And so, but I have to admit, Jim's bait works.
Okay.
So, if you're in the area and you need some good bait, head on down to Jim's at Spot Shooter on his bait store side of his shop. But yeah, we got out, rode out. It wasn't too windy, which was nice. Forgot the anchor, but I won't even go into that.
Did she throw you out for the anchor?
She could have, but no. It was a beautiful day. I caught a nice sized crappie. We caught some sunfish.
What happened to dinner? You're supposed to catch dinner for me.
If I would have kept everything, we could have had a smorgasbord, but we didn't. We were just enjoying the beautiful day out there and kayaking by and just getting out in the outdoors after the winter we had was just was 100% A+ good to do.
Feels good to get outside.
Oh, got a little sun. I took a bath twice and some sunscreen. You can tell where I missed. Obviously.
I would say it looks like you missed a few spots here.
Yeah, on my hands, and it kind of looks kind of funny, but being a redhead, you got to do it. Got to protect yourself because I would have been burnt to a crisp. But yeah, I got out there and caught some fish, which was nice. Rode around the lake a little bit. Spent about 3-4 hours out on the water. So
okay.
It was nice. It was a beautiful Saturday to be out on the water.
Not a lot of other boaters, though, huh?
You know what? For the Saturday, there really wasn't, which kind of amazed me.
Yeah.
I think I counted maybe 3 or 4 other boats and half a dozen kayakers for a Saturday, which was kind of nice.
Yeah. It's nice to be out there like that, but you wonder why more people weren't out.
Well, I think we had that question. I think it's because school is still in session.
That's true.
And Saturdays seem to be people are busy with sporting events or school events, and so I think that might have been a reason why yesterday was, maybe in a couple weeks when school's out of session, it'll be a lot busier.
People start taking vacations, heading north, doing different things.
Exactly.
Getting out, so.
But I got out. What about you? Did you get out?
This weekend did I get out? Did a little kayaking, actually. The last couple weeks we've been doing some kayaking. We got some new ships in the fleet, so to speak.
All right.
Picked up 3 kayaks. They were on sale at our local sporting goods store. And, I thought, with everything that's went on here with the house, and losing a lot of our stuff and a lot of our gear for the outdoors, we're fortunate enough to be able to have this place here temporarily, right on the river. And, for those of you who don't know the Shiawassee River system here in Michigan, where we're at it's not like the Mississippi by any stretch. It's a little river. I mean, I could probably throw, I think I could throw a stone across it.
We'll take a bet on that.
I think there's places where I could actually jump across it in the narrows, but it's very navigable. The current's not real swift, and I thought, the kids needed something, so I said, they wanted some kayaks. And I thought, I've still got my canoe, but there's a little more freedom when you're by yourself in a vessel, and they're old enough to where I thought they could handle it. So we went and we got some kayaks. Michael already had one, so we got 4 ships in the fleet.
4 ships in the fleet, huh?
So
you were able to get out and navigate the waters.
Yeah, it was good this week. I took a little float with my youngest daughter. We went 2 miles. Actually, we paddled upriver and then floated back downstream. So
okay.
She wasn't real keen on getting downriver from here. We have the dam downriver, and that's the portage place where we take out and then jump down into the lower section of the river and take off. And she's like, nah, just not real keen about going down by the river. And we had an issue with getting cars and vehicles put in the right places to be able to have a way back home.
Yep.
Once we got out of the river. So I said, yeah, we'll keep it simple. So we went upstream for a mile and to the next lake and then turned around and floated back. So yeah.
So on your way back, you did less work. Nice float, nice.
Absolutely, yeah. Nice little drift.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, and then previously we took a 4-mile stretch. Actually, we went down below the dam, and we went down to, I'd say it wasn't really the next crossing. There was we went under a couple bridges, and then pulled out way downstream, and that was a good float. Had some obstructions in the way, some challenges. Did not flip.
Well, that's good. You stayed dry. You stayed above water.
Yeah. So and that's, I think that's the one thing. That was the guys' weekend. It was Michael and his friend and me and Jacob, and especially for Jake and for me, being able to come up to an obstruction, see it, navigate it, get over it, under it, around it, whatever the situation is. There's a sense of accomplishment.
Absolutely. You it's with anything, to accomplish that in by yourself in a kayak.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to go back upstream, because the car is downstream. You've got to get to where that car is at and make sure you get there. So, that's what it was all about.
Well, that's good, getting out, especially this weekend. It was nice to be out on the water. So did she overall enjoy it?
The one yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She absolutely loved it.
Excellent.
Yeah, had a good time. So we're actually thinking about taking her on the next group float that we do, going back down that same stretch that we took last weekend, and letting her start to navigate a few obstacles, so to speak.
Yep. Each time a little bit more should be good to go.
Yep, definitely. So, but yeah, it was a good time. I also used it, interestingly enough, yesterday as a chance to start looking at possible places to scout and look for places to trap. And the reason being is 2 weeks ago we were out and we noticed something up on the hill. I'm looking, I'm like, wow, that looks like a fox. And I'm like, wow, there's another one, and another one, and another one. We saw 4 red fox. Found the den. It was behind a tree. We stayed back away from it, just kind of sit there and watched. And assuming it was the mother or the male, one of the other, the adult, one of the adults, and 3 kids. So, and up on the high spot, we also started seeing a groundhog come down. He got down about halfway down the hill, and I don't know if he spotted us or spotted the fox, but the fox definitely were watching him.
Dinner?
I think they're inviting him to dinner.
You know what? They might have had an open seat for him for dinner.
I think so. And but unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. He took off and hightailed it before he became dinner.
But you know what? You said you were scouting, kind of pre-scouting for trapping.
Mm-hmm.
But now you've seen fox, and now you've seen that. It's got a place for you to set some traps.
Absolutely. Yep, definitely. So, kind of using it as a way to get out, have some fun, but also looking at something that I want to do later on too, as well.
You're always scouting.
Absolutely.
Whatever season it might be, you're always scouting. Whether it be trapping, looking at deer in the summertime for hunting. it's always good to have those eyes and ears open scouting.
Definitely. Absolutely. Well, listen, we're wrapping up here on time to take our first break, so we're going to step inside real quick, and when we come back out, we'll talk about some other things that's going on here in the outdoors. So we'll be right back after this.
How do you improve on the Evo? You start with its DNA, then engineer a bow that is fast, lightweight, and features the best technology. The center lock 2 pockets are highly adjustable, light, and quiet. The riser, forged from ultralight aircraft aluminum, creates a bow that weighs a mere 3.7 pounds. The flex cable slide flexes during the draw cycle, relieving lateral torque. And the core hybrid cams deliver a blistering 352 feet per second. Introducing the new Dream Season DNA. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Having trouble keeping your hands warm while bow hunting the late season? Don't let the buck of a lifetime catch you with your bow out of your hands while trying to warm them. Let the Dragonfire Thermogrip keep your bow in your hands while at the same time keeping them toasty warm. With 2 settings, you can keep your grip heated on high for those cold days or low for those cool mornings and evenings for up to 3 continuous hours. The battery compartment doubles as one of the archery industry's best stabilizers. Don't let the buck of a lifetime catch you with your bow on the hook because your hands are cold. Turn up the heat while hunting with the Dragonfire Thermogrip.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Since we've been talking a little bit about getting out on the rivers, you've been out fishing. We've been out on the rivers here, doing some kayaking. One thing that I've seen really progress here in the last week to week and a half, is the amount of activity of the carp in the river, which means one thing, baby.
Bow fishing.
It is time to start putting the smack down on some carp.
And you know what? It's June 1st, so it's getting the water and everything's starting to turn right for some good bow fishing.
The activity has definitely picked, even in the last couple days. We were out yesterday, and they were starting to roll on top of the water, smacking the water. So that means that the spawn's fixing to happen. They're getting really active. Actually, one flashed up next to the kayak of my youngest daughter, Maddie, as she was getting ready to get out. It scared her to death. I thought it was actually going to roll her over. It was a big carp too. I mean, it threw up a lot of water. So,
which leads us, but you don't have no equipment yet.
Well, I'm taking care of that. Strangely enough, this week stopped over at Spot Shooter Archery and talked to Jim for a little while, and I said, Jim, we got to get this bow fishing deal going here. They're coming down the river. It's time to get putting the smack on them. So I went over and picked out a new PSE Fever. It takes the place of the Chaos in their lineup, and that's what I was shooting before was the Chaos. But they made a few new improvements on it, some more adjustability in the bow, and I got a nice 50-pound single cam PSE Fever being put together, and should be ready this week to pick up.
And with the carp starting to roll during the day, we won't have to get out only at night. We can get out in the middle of the day.
Absolutely, yeah. Matter of fact, I've seen people targeting fish already during the day. And last weekend, I saw the first night bow fishing going on here on the river. Me and the boys were out late that last weekend. I think we went out to dinner or something. Came back in about 10:30, and all of a sudden we see this big bright light over the back of the house as we're walking in the front door. And I said, "Wow, that's a lot of light back there." I said, "I bet somebody's bow fishing." Go out the back door. Sure enough, there's a guy with a rig, and the generator running, the boats and everything. So. Yeah, they're already hitting the rivers. So
I wonder if it was Brad.
Might have been. I don't know. I think he would have said something. I mean, he would have recognized, the house and everything. He was over here for the show a couple weeks ago, so I don't think it was him. But yeah, it was pretty cool seeing those guys out. They didn't have anything yet, but I'm really looking forward to getting some shooting in.
Getting some shooting in, and during the day is a bonus. Getting out at night is fun.
Mm-hmm.
You took me one time, and I want to do it again because I got to hit something. And
Besides water?
yeah, I can hit the water good. Just can't hit what's in the water. But well, it's good getting everything, getting the equipment back together since you lost it, and got to do some practicing.
Yeah, so he's got the rigs all set, or getting the rig all set up, with a bottle, the roller rest, and all that kind of stuff. And he's putting some finger, I call them finger taps. I don't know the proper name for them, but on the strings.
The 3 rubber.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yep. So we
I
could.
think you call them finger tabs.
Might be. I'm not sure exactly. He had a name for him. What he called it. He said, "You want the finger such and such as the absolutely," because I don't shoot with a release when I'm bow fishing.
Nope. You taught me to point and shoot kind of thing.
Yep. It happens so quick. So we're looking forward to getting out and doing that. So yeah, I'm hoping to pick the bow up this week, and who knows? I might be standing on the dock out here one morning doing a little flinging, see what happens. So
hey, why not? If they're off the end of the dock, they're fair game, right?
that's right. So, but yeah, we're looking forward to doing that. And actually, when I was over there, another reason I was over at Jim's is last year we talked a little bit about me participating in a hunting lease with him. And the opportunity didn't arise last year because the person he was hunting with or partners with on the lease signed up again. So this year there was an opportunity for me to be able to join him in this hunting lease. So with that in mind, let's take our next break. When we come back, I want to talk about checking out this lease and the things I saw out there this week. So
Sounds good.
We'll be right back after this.
How do you improve on the Evo? You start with its DNA, then engineer a bow that is fast, lightweight, and features the best technology. The center lock 2 pockets are highly adjustable, light, and quiet. The riser, forged from ultralight aircraft aluminum, creates a bow that weighs a mere 3.7 pounds. The flex cable slide flexes during the draw cycle, relieving lateral torque. And the core hybrid cams deliver a blistering 352 feet per second. Introducing the new Dream Season DNA. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Having trouble keeping your hands warm while bow hunting the late season? Don't let the buck of a lifetime catch you with your bow out of your hands while trying to warm them. Let the Dragonfire Thermogrip keep your bow in your hands while at the same time keeping them toasty warm. With 2 settings, you can keep your grip heated on high for those cold days or low for those cool mornings and evenings for up to 3 continuous hours. The battery compartment doubles as one of the archery industry's best stabilizers. Don't let the buck of a lifetime catch you with your bow on the hook because your hands are cold. Turn up the heat while hunting with Dragonfire Thermogrip.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh man, you should have heard what was going on during the break.
You're trying to do a simple show here. Here we are trying to do a simple show, and you're causing all kind of havoc.
Hey, that's my middle name is Havoc, man.
We're going into that break. You got into a lease for hunting.
Yeah.
Not just for all types of hunting.
Well, the thing is I've always, I don't know, I've had reservations about a hunting lease. I've never had one before. There's just always something about paying to use a piece of property to hunt. I don't know. The prices were always too high. I don't know.
Which this day and age, people are turning more to that, and if they know they have the deer, they seem to be wanting to charge the higher dollar, so it kind of turns you off.
Well, the other thing is we've got so much public land around here that it's like, well, why do I need to pay for a lease when I got our public land? But then again, we've had so many problems on public land that is.
You know what? Public land is exactly what you said. I've been out on public land hunting, and in the park over there, and lo and behold, here comes the family on their bikes, running, hollering, screaming, but it's public land, so
Yeah.
you take it with what it is. And yes, that 30 seconds they spent running by you has now
Ruined your entire hunt.
ruined your entire hunt and told every possible game that you're after, they're in the area.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, so now, okay, so are you in?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't laid the green down, but it came to a point where I thought, all the issues we've had with the public land hunting, not that that's not enjoyable. We've had a lot of good times there, but at times there is frustration. It's hard hunting as well. I mean, you really got to put your time in to actually bring something home. I mean, we've put a lot of time in there for the amount of game that we've brought back. Not to say we haven't brought game back, but it's tough.
It happened with me with turkey season this year.
Yeah.
I was sitting, I thought I was set, and lo and behold, there was somebody came in behind me, and all they did was go into the woods and out of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And a fellow person stopped by driving a vehicle and told me what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that explained why these deer busted out, which kind of was totally odd at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't stop that because you're on
Right.
public land.
Right.
But whether you have your own land or a lease, it kind of
Right.
gives you that little bit of
Privacy.
privacy. Exactly.
Yeah, seclusion, whatever. And the other thing, I mean, we've still got our hunting property up north that we go to there at deer camp, but running up to deer camp every weekend, that time on the road, you get up there, you're tired, you're wore out, then you don't feel like getting out early into the stand. It's hard. It's truly an effort when you do a weekend warrior and you're running up north 2.5 hours.
And then you do that and you get up there and you're all set, and lo and behold, it might be pouring down rain the next morning.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
Where this is I can be there in 15 minutes, literally, in another 5 minutes be in stand. So from the time I walk out my door, less than a half hour, I can be in stand and hunting.
and what is a fact that you can plan it, you can be there on an evening.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to drive the 2.5 hours to hunt the evening. You can be there in a half hour or so. You can be up in a stand, and you can be ready on your lease.
Or if perchance I happen to have a free time to go, and I've got either a morning or an evening that just all of a sudden became free. It's like, wow, now I can get out, I can go hunt. Before where it's like, there's no way I could get out and go up north. I'd have to go to the public property and deal with all that and probably not have anywhere near as good a time. So, yeah, I thought, I'm going to go look at this. I'm at least going to go look at it and see what it holds and see if it's something I want to do. So, that was the day actually that I was over checking out the bow there at the bow shop, and we took off, and man, we made these plans to go, and that morning when we made the plans, everything seemed to be okay. All of a sudden, the rains came, and
I think that day they were more like monsoons.
it poured. By the time we got over to where we needed to go to, the rain pretty much stopped. It was a drizzle, but then came out the flying mosquitoes.
The Michigan mosquito.
And I tell you what, we had the thermocells running. He had one, I had one, and I had off cutter spray on my hands, my face, my neck, anything that was exposed. And if I hadn't had that stuff on, there'd been no way possible that you would have even took a 30-second walk into the woods. They were thick as flies.
You almost needed an actual bug net.
Yeah, it got to a couple points where I was ready to break a limb and just keep fanning it in front of my face. They were that thick. It was. I didn't get bit, but it was very annoying having them buzz you.
It's more annoying than it is anything when you've got them flying around your head,
in your eyes, in your nose. In your
they want
ears.
to go into everything of yours, and it just but it's the famous Michigan mosquito, as we all
Yep.
like to swat at around here. So, how was it?
It was good. I was pleasantly surprised. You always hear stories about, hey, I got this great spot, da 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 da. You hear the stories, and you wonder how much embellishment there is. And I kind of went in a little reserved, But the first thing I'm looking, we're walking up a 2-track. The 2-track goes from the front of the property to the back. And basically the way it's set up, he's going to hunt one side of it, I'm going to hunt the other. It's 70 acres. So we've each got 35 acres to hunt. And even in the 2-track, there's tracks. There's deer tracks. There's big deer tracks. And there's other deer tracks. But then, I'm starting to look off into the sides. I'm seeing deer trails. And I'm starting to see old buck rubs from last season. Which I'm like, man, this is encouraging, It's, it's pretty heavily wooded. There's what they call the sanctuary in the middle that's really thick. I mean, it's just a big, thick section of tangle stuff, and
Deer love that.
that's why they call it sanctuary. That's, kind of the off-limits area. There's 2 or 3 small swamps that hold water. Of course, there was water everywhere. There was water in the 2-track that day. There was a ton of rain. But, so there was some places that held some water. There's 3 food plots on the property. And
Of?
clover. And believe me, right now it is tall and lush. I was like, wow, when did you guys plant that? And he goes, actually, we planted it last season. It never came up. And all of a sudden this year, boom. I mean, it's just, I was like, wow, this is nice. I mean, the clovers were size of quarters or bigger. I mean, it was big, thick stuff.
You better have looked for some 4-leafers.
I think I had them when I walked in there, just by the sheer fact that I'm having the opportunity at this.
And what helps you with this lease too is Jim is such a good guy that we've talking with him in his past experiences on this lease. He's had it for a few years.
Yeah.
So it's not just a first time thing. He's had it for a few years. So what he's telling you, he got a big buck off there last year.
Right.
So and he's gotten other deer off there. So it's not just that first time going in. You've got, like you said, you've got 3 food plots.
Yep.
Are there stands there already?
There's a couple stands that the landowner has. He's not a hunter. He, for whatever reason, had them there, and things just didn't turn out for the way he wanted to use the property. I think he was going to hunt it as a secondary use of the property, and that's when he decided to lease it. So yeah, there's a couple stands already up. The food plots he put in, I think Jim planted last year. There's 2 feeders, which here in Michigan, in this area that we're in, you can recreational feed and bait. So we're going to try to get those going and kind of start drawing the deer into the area. Not that they need any drawing in because they're already there, but something to kind of hold them on a regular basis. And maybe put some mineral out. I don't know, we're talking about that. Maybe put some trail cams up, start, Jim said, let's get a hit list going.
There you go. It's never too early to put out trail cams because
Yeah.
you can start to take an inventory of
Right.
what you have. And as we get into June here, we're going to start to have the fawn drop.
Yep.
And then you can start picking up the new kids on the block.
Yep. Absolutely.
And then you can start to see whether you've got sets of twins and whatnot, triplets, and then you can, like you said, you can start a hit list as your lease develops.
Yep.
And what you're doing now in June will pay off in October, November, even December.
Absolutely. Another thing over on the side that I'm on is a nice, real good stand of hardwoods, which has some oak in there. So there's the opportunity to set some stands in that area as well, for the acorn drop. So
It's always good to have that acorn natural food. They love their acorns. It's one thing deer will eat over anything else is acorns. They always, up by us, up in the UP there, we put out some acorns that we pick up down here, and they go, it's like candy. It just, they go right by everything else and go right to the acorns.
Yeah, there's something about the natural feed that they love.
They love them, and so, but it sounds like a good potential there, and it's not just going to be deer, right?
Right. There's turkey and coyote. Jim's wanting to do some coyote hunting this year. I'm looking at trapping. In particularly, here in Michigan on private land, you can snare for coyote. You can on public land, so that's why I never really ever attempted that, because you couldn't do it. So this year, that's something I'm considering doing, is maybe getting some snares and trying to learn how to snare.
You know what? That just sets up another thing for your trapping. Kayaking, you've seen some foxes.
Yep.
now you checking this lease out, knowing that there's coyotes. So that's setting up your trapping hunting.
Yep.
And now you've got deer, turkey.
Yep.
There's
possibilities there.
That's awesome.
And I've already got a couple trees picked out near the food plot where we can do like a double set, and there's that possibility that there's going to be a camera in somebody's hand.
I feel my name being mentioned here. I get a feeling I'll be running the camera for you.
Well, there's a strong possibility.
But you know what? All kidding aside, but that'll be nice that we can be there. You can call me up and, hey, let's go, and we can be there in a half hour, ready to go up in the tree and catch the last 2 hours of the day.
Yep.
I think that speaks volumes of the location at this point.
Well, the biggest thing is, and the thing that I was concerned about and really had to work on and make sure that was secured, was the fact that Jim and I see eye to eye.
Right. Like you've talked about in the past of the club rules.
Yep.
Well, now it's just two of you, so now you've got Jim and yourself's rules.
Absolutely. I can take the kids in there. There's not that big issue of making sure everything meets a certain requirement. If I want to let my kids shoot something for their first buck, I can let that happen.
Right, and it's between you and Jim, and I'm sure you've had that discussion already, and that is nice. Plus, having that so close, you can expand the seasons, small game.
I can get them out more.
Yeah,
get them out a lot more. So I don't have to worry about going up north. Okay, who's going with me this weekend? Worried about, you can't go this time, because you're going to be out of school. I don't have to worry about that. We go out on the weekend here. I don't have to make that long drive.
And as far as that's concerned, all the way up until whenever the time changes, you got long evenings to October hunt.
Right, absolutely.
You can get 5 o'clock, leave here by 5:30. You're sitting in the stand and catch the last 2 hours of the evening hunt.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I just.
It sounds exciting.
I've made the decision. I think this is going to be a good thing this year, and it's just something else that to look forward to try to change things up for me a little bit. So. And
you can see the quality you got off the bald eagle video, the camera you're using that you've purchased. We'll be using that camera. I get a feeling I'll be running it, but hopefully we'll get some great video.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it this year.
We'll get some great video. Trust me. Mike is a great object to video. I gotta.
I don't know quite how to take that.
I gotta focus on the deer. Okay.
No, I don't want to see my ugly mug in the frame.
Well, hopefully we'll see some good action, and hopefully this lease that you're getting into produces, and whether, in my eyes, if it produces, seeing stuff.
Yeah.
To me, that I love seeing stuff.
It's going to create more opportunity.
Yeah.
That's I think is the key thing to it. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
So you've checked out the property. You've got some food plots. You're thinking about adding some mineral licks. We'll have to discuss mineral licks and what kind you'd want. But are you planning to get cameras out?
Yeah, Jim and I talked about a little bit earlier there about getting a hit list together. We're looking at, I really think 2 to 3 cameras per person would cover that quite nicely, in the areas that we want to hit. And if we're not seeing anything that we want in that area, it's like I said before, what I want to do up north at our hunting camp, it gives you an opportunity ahead of time to see where the deer movement is. And if it's not where you think it is, then you move. You move to a different spot. You start trying to figure out where those high traffic areas are, where the ambush points are. And that way you get your stand set up early and get out of there. That way, when it comes time to hunt, they're kind of used to the subtle changes you've already made.
It sounds like a great plan started.
Now we just got to fulfill it.
Exactly. Now it's got to come September, October, November down the road. Hopefully it pays off.
Yeah. Yep. So looking forward to it. Well, listen, something that I want to kind of end the show on. We've had a listener question on the last show, and we've got another one this week that I want to answer on the show here and give a few tips. I know there's a couple of things you got coming up that you want to talk about. So let's step outside. We'll take our last break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up.
How do you improve on the Evo? You start with its DNA, then engineer a bow that is fast, lightweight, and features the best technology. The center lock 2 pockets are highly adjustable, light, and quiet. The riser, forged from ultralight aircraft aluminum, creates a bow that weighs a mere 3.7 pounds. The flex cable slide flexes during the draw cycle, relieving lateral torque. And the core hybrid cams deliver a blistering 352 feet per second. Introducing the new Dream Season DNA. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Having trouble keeping your hands warm while bow hunting the late season? Don't let the buck of a lifetime catch you with your bow out of your hands while trying to warm them. Let the Dragonfire Thermogrip keep your bow in your hands while at the same time keeping them toasty warm. With 2 settings, you can keep your grip heated on high for those cold days or low for those cool mornings and evenings for up to 3 continuous hours. The battery compartment doubles as one of the archery industry's best stabilizers. Don't let the buck of a lifetime catch you with your bow on the hook because your hands are cold. Turn up the heat while hunting with the Dragonfire Thermogrip.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back, everybody. Last segment of the show here. We're going to kind of throw it back to you, the fans who listen to the show here. We talk a little bit. Actually, when we attempted this show the first time out on the Up North Journal patio, I posted some pictures.
Yeah, that was us the first time. If you're looking on Facebook and you see us on the back deck, that was the first time around.
We got a few people here that actually clicked on our like on the picture, and Robert Terrell Jr., Greg Bush, and Tom Covert clicked on the like button, and somebody, it looks like Mrs. Defoe, clicked on the like button. I think she clicked on my picture, not yours.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. Oh. You know what? And I'll have to, I see Greg Bush, I'll have to talk to him about him in an upcoming show. He's the one that did my skulls on my last 2 deer from last year. So
Okay.
I'll talk about him in a future show. He's a taxidermist.
Okay.
So
Here locally, I take it.
yeah,
Okay.
you know, I work with him. And,
Okay.
he does it right out of Grand Blanc.
Okay.
So I'll talk about him in a future show.
Might even get him over here to talk about a little bit of the process.
Absolutely.
You know, and maybe something you can do in the field to help your taxidermist job become a little easier. You know,
Yep.
make sure that you don't mess something up for your taxidermist that he's going to have to fix and cost you more money. So we'll have to find that
But
out.
yeah, that was us on the deck enjoying it, but not knowing we were recording. So you know,
You think the guy who's done a few of these shows that
how many 200?
his technical capabilities would 277 this one is.
This is so 277 shows, and yes, it can stop working.
Or actually, it looks like maybe 278. I think, yeah, that was 277 was our last show. So, yeah, we completed 277. But here, I wanted to kind of get into the question that was posted this week. And
You
I
know,
gotta find it.
as Mike looks for the questions, you know, feel free to Facebook us more questions. We love the questions. We might even have to name the segment if we keep getting questions. Well, that's what we
Right here it
posted.
is.
There it is. Okay, I knew it was up there.
All right. It took me a while, but I found it.
You know, you in this this computer age, man,
I'm getting the hang of it.
yeah, 270 something shows later, and you.
I usually do everything here on my smartphone. I don't usually do a lot of this stuff on the computer. So, but this question, actually, last question we had was from Pete Melling, and he actually messaged us back and has got a question this way. But I'm gonna go ahead and read what he wrote us. He said, "Guys," he said, "thanks. Just got back from Kansas and listened to the shows. You were spot on. I'm glad some of our information actually works for somebody." You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know, people are listening.
So, but he says the next question. He says, "Can you talk about kids and introducing them into squirrel hunting?" He said, "Glad to have you in my ear again." Well, first of all, it's glad to be back in your ear or
It's
on your iPhone,
in
iPad,
your car.
anywhere.
You know, it's just glad to be back out on the air.
So, yeah, we really appreciate it. But talking about kids and getting them introduced into squirrel hunting. The first time we talked about this, you had some great ideas.
I'll refer back to my youngest daughter, Erica. First thing, of course, getting her through hunter safety.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I went with her. I went with both my kids to hunter safety. It was a refresher for me to sit with them and go through hunter safety. And in hunter safety, she shot a 22.
Okay.
So I kind of knew she had shot a 22. She shot a 22 up at our camp, up in the UP. So I was very comfortable with her shooting a 22. So that was the gun I was going to let her use. And I was going to use a 22 also. So we went out. With squirrels, it's not imperative to be totally quiet. You can talk a little bit and kind of introduce them to the woods and show them what you're looking for or what to look for up in the trees, the big bushy tails. And we sat back against the tree, and lo and behold, a squirrel came out, and she took a couple cracks at it, missed it. I took a couple cracks at it and missed it. So,
She learned well from you, huh?
Yeah, exactly. She got my eye there, that's for sure. But yeah, I was comfortable with her using a 22, so that's what she used. I didn't give her a 12 gauge and say, hey, just shoot this. But I eased her into it. I knew her capabilities. So that way she wouldn't be afraid of the gun.
Right.
And as a new person getting into the sport of shooting, you don't want them afraid of the gun.
Absolutely.
So I was comfortable with her shooting that. You can even go with a 410 or a 20 gauge. It's if you have that to use. But I would, as you get into this, I would say know what they're capable of shooting. Getting them to the gun range, letting them shoot various guns if you're able to. If you just have one gun, that's fine. But let them shoot it so they know what to expect.
Yeah, you don't want to surprise out in the woods and watch them get knocked down.
No, because
being afraid of it.
Once they're afraid of it, you'll always be afraid of it. And that was the process we went through. We went out, sat out there, talked, looked, shot at, missed. We spent a few hours out there. Now, as with both of my girls that I did hunting with, I let them dictate how long we were going to be there.
Absolutely.
If I remember right, I think it was October. The leaves were still on the tree, but it was warm enough where I wasn't worried about freezing.
Right.
So whether she wanted to be out there an hour or 3 hours, I let her, dictate how long it was going to be. And I did that with both my kids, whether I was deer hunting, bow hunting, with them in the blind with me. Erica, if she wanted to spend an hour out there, I said, that's fine. Then I took her back to the camp, but I let them dictate how much time.
You don't want them to be bored and hate it.
Exactly. And, with the mindset that if it's going to be an hour, then so be it. Don't go out there, I think, and say, we're going to be out here 5 hours.
Right.
Because that might be 4.5 hours too long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know your child.
Right, exactly. And you'll see it in them, and it's like as you're talking to them, you can expand on the woods to them and show them other things.
Yeah, different types of trees, ways to look for squirrel nests in trees. The difference in the leaf patterns. This is an oak, this is a maple. Et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. And then when you're out there, you show them. You show them this stuff, and you show them a deer track. You show them other tracks. You can if you see a turkey track, you see a turkey track. But then that also gets them interested in, well, if I see a deer track, maybe I'll see a deer.
Absolutely.
And then that leads on to more stuff.
Yeah, you might see some scat. It might be deer. It might be rabbit. It might be coyote. It might be raccoon. And explain the different how you see that and it's like, well, poo's poo. Well, no, not necessarily. You can tell a lot about poo and what animal made that poo.
That's right. And as you do this, you can make one day of hunting into an event. You can start by taking them to the store to get their very own hunter's orange hat.
Absolutely.
Or vest.
Yep.
Or, maybe they need a new pair of hunting boots.
Absolutely. Don't forget the footwear, because if you're doing a lot of walking, you don't want a kid getting his feet sore, because he's going to start, he or she is going to start whimpering, whining, getting upset, crying, what have you, depending on their age. And you're going to wind up carrying them back to the truck, and it's going to be terrible for both of you, and they're never going to want to go again.
Exactly. So you can start out with that, taking them to the store, get them their very own hunter's orange hat, something that they'll have and take hunting every time, so it becomes theirs.
Or for something maybe you have that you had as a child that you passed down to them. Explain to them why it's so important to you, and you want to pass that tradition on to them.
And that can even be as little as a knife.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Because after you take them to the store, or you've given them something, and you've taken them out hunting, now maybe you were fortunate enough to get something.
Yep. And it doesn't end there.
No, excuse me, but it doesn't. It's only a beginning, because now you've got to skin it, and you can show them the whole process of skinning it and gutting it. You know, and there again, that speaks volumes too, because if they got it, it's their game.
Absolutely. Have them take responsibility, at least being part of that event of skinning that and field dressing the animal. You know, show them what the insides of it are. You know, there's the heart, there's the liver, the lungs, what have you, the different little parts inside. You know, and you only know how much your child can take of that. Some kids are not going to be able to stand that. You know, I mean, obviously there's some smell involved as well. Teach them how to take care of the meat once you get it and get it skinned. You know, what do you do with it then? How do you get it from the field to the freezer? And then once you get ready to make that meal, have them be a part of that as well. So, you know, it goes full cycle. It goes from the time you left the house to getting in the woods, shooting the animal, field dressing it, getting it home, eating it, you know, that whole process.
Exactly. And then to round it out as you go through that whole process, you know, after you've had the dinner of the game, now you can teach them how to take care of the guns and clean the guns. Because
Absolutely.
you have to clean the guns in order for your future hunts.
Right.
If you don't take care of your equipment,
Yep.
you're not going to have any future hunts.
Yep. Yeah. There's responsibility all along the way. Those things that have to be done and put away and taken care of after the hunt, so you can go hunting again. That was my job as a kid when I came home from hunting. I had to take care of the firearms, and I rather enjoyed it. It always gave me some time to be able to sit and look at them again and learn more about them, you know, and relive those things. My kids, they hate it.
I tell you what, there's nothing better than the smell of hops number 9. Don't ask me why, but
I knew there was something wrong. You've been sitting there sniffing
yes,
gun
I've
cleaning
been
fluid.
I have been, but that every time, you know, I'm cleaning the guns at the end of the year, and it's just that smell, and you're cleaning the guns. But yeah, you can pass that down to them too as well,
Yeah.
and you can bring this whole event of this is just the squirrel hunt,
Right.
full circle, that you can take from A to Z, and then that can lead you into deer hunting, rabbit,
Turkeys.
duck, turkey, you name it.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they like water, maybe
Yeah.
waterfowl, you know.
Right.
But as far as squirrel hunting, and another thing about the boots, also know what time of year you're going to be out there. Because like in Michigan, if we go out in January
Right.
squirrel hunting, make
Right.
sure they're clothed for it.
Right.
And know the time that you got out there, and when they start to get cold, move.
The one good thing I like about squirrel hunting, you can go out in blue jeans. I mean, if it's warm enough, you can go out in blue jeans and a flannel shirt. As long as you got your orange hat or your orange vest on. You know, those things are important. But, I mean, you don't have to get all camoed up. You don't have to go out and buy, you know, these carbon suits and all this stuff. Squirrel hunting, I mean, it's just as basic as it can be.
I mean, besides your orange hat, you need a weapon of choice. And other than that, you can
Be comfortable.
be comfortable. And if you go out in Michigan, and whether it's September or October, you can go out when it's, especially October, if we've had a first frost, that the mosquitoes won't be around.
Absolutely.
You know, you can go out there on a nice fall day and enjoy it and be hunting.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. The one other thing I can recommend that not the child take, but that you take with you is a camera. You know, we got smartphones now, like this, the one I carry with me all the time everywhere I go. You can shoot video. But, I mean, those are the things, you know, take pictures along the way, not just at the quote-unquote butt pole.
Absolutely. I don't know how many pictures you see of back then. You've got 2 pictures
Yeah.
by the buck pole, and
Yeah.
that was about it. Now, you know, you've got the smartphone. We do it ourselves here at the
Yep.
Up North Journal.
Yep.
We're taking pictures from the stand, posting them to Facebook.
Yeah.
We're live in the tree, basically, and you two can be with your, you know, who you've taken hunting. You can run a little video.
Yep.
You can take pictures, and all that becomes memories.
Absolutely. You know, I would give anything to be able to have pictures when I was knee-high to a June bug with my dad in the woods. You know, back then we just we didn't have a camera to take in the. I mean, that wasn't, back then a camera was a luxury.
Exactly. Oh, geez, yeah. And whether you get a whether you did or didn't get any game, just take pictures.
Yeah, and video. I mean, back then it was 16 millimeter movie camera, silent movies. And believe it or not, I think this is actually where I just thought about this, where this whole concept of Up North Journal and filming hunts and everything came from. My dad, actually, there's times I've got video or films of him, not out hunting, but at deer camp. Him and the guys with the buck, or maybe after a fishing trip with all the fish laid out, and him acting goofy or whatever. I'm like, wow, now I know where that came from.
There you go. And those, and now, especially this day and age with a smartphone, and if you're able to do it, get a couple of pictures, because those will last forever.
Absolutely. Like I said, I wish I had more pictures of when I was younger, out in the field with my dad, or even on camping trips or what have you. Our pictures consisted of Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, and school. And that was it.
And on Facebook they have, a lot of people do that Throwback Thursday.
Yeah.
That is so good to see, and you can start it with your son or daughter, today.
Mm-hmm.
Showing them,
Yep.
taking that one picture out in the woods, 2 pictures, but yeah, take as many pictures as you can.
Yep, because you can't go back.
Nope, you can't. That's for sure.
So, well, speaking of going back, aren't you going back up north next weekend?
Well, I'm hoping to get back up to the camp. I haven't been up there.
Oh, wait, before we jump to another subject, Pete, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, whoa, see, I'm kind of excited, but...
You just kind of led me down a path there. All of a sudden I started chasing a rabbit.
Yeah,
Thanks for the question, and anybody who has an opportunity to add to this, put your tips, your tricks, whatever, over on our Facebook page. Share them with us. That way other people can see them.
Yeah, any tips or tricks that anybody's got, throw them on there, because by
Questions.
all means, the more answers or
Start a
questions,
conversation.
It helps. And you can pick up a tip or a trick from somebody else and use it.
Mm-hmm.
It worked.
Well, the one thing I want to mention before we get into your trip up north is if you like a little more information, go over to my good friend of mine, Bob Rich, over in Connecticut. He runs the Northeast Rimfire Facebook page. That guy, he is a small game hunting fool. That guy loves a small game hunt, and he's posting stuff on there all the time about different firearms he uses, different times he's out in the field, pictures, and just everything. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Bob and his Facebook page, Northeast Rimfire. Northeastern Rimfire. I just shut my phone off.
Northeast Rimfire.
Northeast Rimfire. I just got it on my page. I click it and I go to it. You know me. But,
I know you. Click, click, click.
So, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quick. So you're going up north.
Yep. Going up this weekend, hopefully, to the camp up in the UP. I don't think anybody's been there since between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
So
what are you going up for?
me and Deb and I are going to shoot up there to open up the camp, get the water lines, everything back put together.
Put together?
Well, for winter we winterize the cabin. And
okay.
We pull some pipes.
Okay.
But I'm just hoping that, I think it's okay. I'm hoping that we didn't have too much snow and cave in the roof. Seriously, because up in Iron County, I'm in a zone where I'm either just south of the heavy snow zone,
mm-hmm.
but it seemed like the entire state got the heavy snow.
It was a pretty bad year.
So I'm hoping to get up there this weekend.
And shovel snow?
I tell you what, you might not be far off, because just this past week we had people posting pictures
on Lake Superior.
On Lake Superior, sitting on icebergs.
Yeah. These big chunks of ice that come floating into the shore, and people are actually taking photos of them sitting there. And this is this last week of May.
Exactly. So, Michigan, and I wouldn't be surprised if you might be right. But, yeah, I want to get up there. I want to open the cabin, probably cut the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it'll be
Shovel
nice.
the lawn.
Shovel the lawn. But, yeah, I want to get up there and open the cabin, get everything put together.
That's cool.
Just getting away for the weekend will be good.
It does a man's soul good to get outside.
For me, getting across that bridge up there is just, I love it.
Hanging out in Uperland, huh?
Absolutely. Once I cross that bridge, I love it. I wish I could be there a lot more. But
well, you know what next weekend is? besides you going up north and playing in the snow, what's left of it,
Yeah.
it's also free fishing weekend here in Michigan.
Hey, free is for me.
That's the best kind of fish. Free fish.
Exactly. And that is statewide.
Statewide, yes, sir.
And anybody can do it.
Even people from out of state. So if you live in northern Indiana or northern Ohio, because I know a lot of those guys come north. And actually, I just saw Joey from Indiana, one of our friends on Facebook. He was up this week doing a charter up here, I think on Lake Erie, if I'm not mistaken. So they come up. Licenses now are $26, I believe, because we talked about that on one of the last shows about the whole license structure has changed now. So you get the all-inclusive license. That's the only way they sell it.
You buy one license and you are good for everything.
But out-of-staters, it costs them $70+.
And this weekend, it's free.
This coming weekend is free.
And also you talk about northern Ohio and northern Indiana. And since I spend a lot of time in the UP, I'm not going to forget our Wisconsin friends because I've been up there for a walleye opener in Michigan and gone to lakes and seen more Wisconsin plates at the lakes than I did Michigan. Oh, so I know they're coming. I know they're coming across. So they must know where the fish are.
That or you're getting a lot of cheese and they're bringing you cheese.
I hope not. The cheese is good, but yeah, I've seen a lot of Wisconsin plates over in that area because it's only 40 minutes from me.
Okay. I didn't realize you're that close.
40 minutes. I'm in Wisconsin.
So you're when you're up there, are you a Packer fan? Green Bay Packer fan?
Oh, you got to watch that because either you're a Packer fan or you're a Chicago Bears fan, and don't get in between.
Okay.
It's a bad weekend up there when those two teams play. But yeah, no, this weekend would be a great time to get out and fish. Even anybody to fish. Take your, the kids out, just throw a line in the water.
Absolutely.
It's free.
Absolutely. Yeah, it saves you a little bit of money, and there's people that maybe say, man, I'd like to go fishing, but I don't want to pay $26 to go try it. It's a great time to get out there, and if you know somebody that has been kind of on the fence about going or something, you got an extra rod and reel, invite them, take them out.
Yeah,
get them on
good
the
way
water.
to get, take them out. You got that extra pole, get them out there. It's not going to cost you anything except
time.
To buy some worms.
Yeah, worm and time. And actually, you can go dig worms up if you have to.
That's always good. You can always water the lawn and take the flashlight out and go.
You did that too as a kid?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Yeah, you're out there trying to grab that worm. Oh boy, it was entertaining to say the least. But yeah, no, a great weekend, and hopefully we have some good weather.
Yeah, it's finally starting to warm up here. Like we talked earlier, carp are rolling on the river here, and it's a good time to get out and be in the outdoors right now. I'm looking forward to getting that new bow fishing rig set up and getting out there this week. And if I get it early in the week, like I said, I may go sit at the end of the dock one morning and a cup of coffee and the bow.
There you go. Cup of coffee, the bow, and
let her go.
We'll have enough time. We'll get the video going, get some of your shooting capabilities.
Man, I don't know about that. I might want to put the camera away for that.
But no, it is a good time. It's we've switched seasons. We're now getting to the summertime seasons for us.
Got to get out and start practicing with our bows for the upcoming archery season as well.
We've got some 3D shoots we can go to. And,
absolutely.
It's never any bad practice. Always good to be practicing.
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing I do want to mention that's coming up that I'm hoping to attend. I'm planning on attending. I'll probably be Randy Duncan will be going. This will be up in the UP, up in your part of the country of Michigan. Is National Trappers Association Convention is in Michigan this year. It's in Escanaba. So I'm going to go up for Saturday, Sunday, and go check that out. I mean, it's literally in the back door.
Yeah.
That'd be the front door.
That would
up
be,
north. I don't know, something like that.
It's in the not the what do we call the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, but if it's in Escanaba, that's it's. Do they have that? Last year was in Minnesota.
No, that was 2 years ago.
Oh,
last year it was in Lima, Ohio.
So so it's in Michigan.
Actually, Lima, Ohio is probably closer to us than Escanaba.
I'm sure it is.
So actually, I'm driving further this year to go see it, but it's in our home state.
When is that?
That will be the last weekend in July.
Okay.
So that's just something out there if you guys are interested in that. I'm going to throw a shout out Jerry Long over in Wisconsin. That's not too far from you. You can shoot up the other way. We can meet up there. calling them out.
You are calling Jerry Long out, that's for sure.
So.
But that's good. So last week of July, we got the Hunter and Trapping Convention.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The National Trapping Association's convention, the NWA, I think is what they call it. We've got then the following weekend is the R100 here in Michigan. I think it's either the weekend after or weekend after that. It's within a week.
It's the first. It's one of the first 2 weekends in August that the R100 is, and
then Bowfest for Jim Beasley over there at Spot Shooter Archery.
And lo and behold, we're already at the end of summer. Let's not
Yeah.
rush it. Let's get out to bow fishing.
All right. Anything else you want to throw in this week?
Nope. Other than get out in the outdoors.
All right. Well, I'm watching the thing here. We actually laid down the footage or the record this time, so it's
Times
stuck.
2.
So, well, listen, folks. We enjoyed being back on this week. We'll be back again next week, hopefully, with some more stuff to talk about. And as we always like to say here at the Up North Journal, shoot straight, be safe.
This episode of the Up North Journal is brought to you by PSE Archery, Dead Downwind, Mossy Oak, Vortex Optics, G5, and W.C. Hoffman's adventure book, Twins of Prey, available at Amazon.com.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.